Hi, my name is Shaz. Welcome to the Teacher Training Academy sponsored by gigglepots.com. Our aim is to provide short videos that show creative and innovative ways teachers can engage their students in the learning process. Our online video training is grounded on best practice in the classroom, so you can be sure that you're getting outstanding support for your teaching. We know teachers are busy people, so our videos are short and informative. You can watch them anywhere, and best of all, they're free. In each video, we look at a leading question that teachers often ask, and then offer practical solutions that can be integrated into the curriculum. To see more videos from the Teacher Training Academy, just go to gigglepots.com. So today's question is, how do you arrange your class seating? This is probably a very familiar scene to most teachers. You come back after the break to find an empty classroom. Chairs are stacked up. The walls are looking pretty sad and bare. And if you're like me, you wonder how you will ever get your room sorted out by the first day of school. So today we're going to take a look at different ways of setting up your classroom. At the end of this session, you will have gained a clearer understanding of how and why you arrange the seating in your classroom. So here's our word for today, learn. Keep this word in mind as we take on the task of setting up the classroom. I am sure most teachers are aware of the traditional rows set up. I know most of my schooling was sitting in rows, and some teachers are reluctant to change this setup. The students face the front looking at the teacher. However, this setup is very teacher-centric. The focus is on the teacher. In this type of setup, it also means that usually the teacher's desk is at the front of the room. And yes, it's easy to check up on students. Noise level is easily controlled, and you can get the attention of students from the front of the room. I understand why many teachers choose this seating plan. Keep in mind the word of the day, learn. Is this the best plan for engaging students in learning? Or is this what we usually see in this type of setup? Not very inspiring, is it? So let's look at some alternatives. What about horizontal rows? Students are still facing the front, and there's still not much opportunity for students to interact. Again, the teacher at the front of the classroom is the main focal point. So let's take a look at another option. Here you can see groups of tables or desks. Students are able to work individually or with a partner, or as a whole group. You can have a small group or larger groups of tables. This setup really encourages collaborative learning and not just passive learning. Using this group format, you can also assign team captains and have a point system so that all students are on task in their group. So remember, we're focusing on learning. Setting up your classroom is not just putting desks and chairs out. It is creating a learning environment. And as we all know, learning happens in lots of different ways. After all these years of teaching, the first thing I do when I begin to set up my classroom is to make a mat space. I must admit that I very rarely teach students sitting at their desk. When I am teaching a new concept or reviewing work, I like to have eye contact with each student. This engages them in the learning process. So, the mat is a perfect place for this to happen. And no, mat space is not just for the young students. I have a mat space for all grades I teach. 6th graders love it. This is total engagement at its best. So before any desks are put out, I encourage you to carve out a mat space where students can meet as a whole group or in small groups. You'll be surprised at how much you will use this very versatile learning space. Next, let's look at the inner and the outer circle setup. This allows students to see the front of the room, but to also collaborate with students sitting near them. I like it because the teacher can walk around the back of the circle and instantly determine each student's progress. But the downside is that there's a lot of shuffling around during group work. This semicircle format again has students face the front of the classroom. It is still teacher focused and doesn't allow students to work collaboratively with their peers. Okay, I want to share with you one last seating arrangement. I used it when teaching a group of 35 boys and it worked brilliantly. This is what I did. I placed desks and chairs around the walls of the classroom. Now you're probably thinking, how could this possibly work? Well, it really is a great way to open up the classroom and allow movement between individual work and small group work. This was in fact one of the most successful room setups I have used in an all-boys school. It really allowed me to be a facilitator of learning and not just the focal point. So as you can see, there are many options for seating arrangements in your classroom. Choose one that provides the best learning environment to your new students. And don't be afraid of mixing it up. If one setup doesn't work as well, then try another. So just to review, start with asking yourself 2 simple questions. What physical space do students need to learn effectively? And as a teacher, how can I provide that space in the classroom? The look and feel of classrooms as a place of learning is changing. The setup you choose will determine how active your students will be in their learning. Students learn best when they're provided with opportunities to work individually and in small groups. The teacher does not always have to be at the front of the class. The teacher is primarily a facilitator, a guide and mentor to help students learn. So back to the empty classroom and how to set it up. In this Teacher Training Academy video, we have discovered that the way you organize your seating is not just about arranging desks and chairs. It's about how to put into practice your beliefs about student learning. It's organizing the classroom environment so students can be successful learners. So enjoy your first few days back at school and have fun as you prepare your room for learning. If you like this video, be sure to check out more of our Teacher Training Academy videos at gigglepots.com. Thanks for joining me. Happy teaching!